Welcome. We'll get started shortly. Before we begin, here's how to earn continuing professional education credit for attending this session. There are no polling questions or attendance checks. Instead, you will demonstrate your knowledge by taking a brief multiple-choice quiz using the Earmark app. Visit earmark.app in your web browser. You can also download the mobile app by scanning the QR code on the screen. Log in, or if you're new, create your free account. Be sure to use a valid email address because that's where we'll send your course completion certificates. From the home screen, scroll down to find the course. You can also tap the magnifying glass icon to search for the course. Tap on the course artwork, then the Enroll button. On the Course tab, you'll find the recording and quiz questions. Complete the quiz to earn your CPE certificate. It takes us a few days to create the course on the app, so if you are attending this session live, please wait a few days. We'll email you a link to the course when it is ready. If you have questions or need help, email us at support@earmarkcpe.com. And now, on to the event.
Hey everybody, welcome to this session on Make 2026 your last tax season. I'm really excited to be able to present this training to you. So in this training, you'll learn how you can replace your low-paying tax clients with high-paying advisory clients, also that you can make more money while working a lot less. Okay, so over the next few minutes we're going to spend together, here's what we're going to go through. The first thing we're going to talk through are the 8 reasons why you should make 2026 your last tax season. Then we're going to talk about how to replace 100% of your income with CFO Advisory services. And here's the good news. Let's say that you only want to replace 20, 30, 40, 50% of your income with CFO Advisory services. This will definitely show you how. That way you can still do tax or bookkeeping services or other accounting services if you wish. But if you want to get out of all that altogether, I'll show you how to replace 100% of your income with CFO Advisory services. And then we're going to talk through exactly what are CFO Advisory services. So that way we're all on the same page and you can decide if this is right for you. And then we'll go through a timeline for actually replacing your tax income over the next 12 months. All right, so before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Adam Lean. I'm one of the co-founders of the CFO Project. Essentially, I'm a former accountant who started multiple businesses that had nothing to do with accounting. And after starting these businesses and meeting other business owners, I realized that I had taken for granted the fact that I understood business and numbers and accounting and financials. Most other business owners were running their businesses without this knowledge. And because of that, they struggled. So several years ago, I started my own CFO advisory practice where I essentially pitched a CFO advisory service to business owners, to small business owners. And a lot of them said yes. In fact, within 18 months, I had 17 CFO advisory clients. So because of what I offered was in demand, people wanted it, I was forced to systematize my processes. And the best part was that I was able to systematize the delivery of my service while getting my clients better results. I was spending less time with each client, but delivering far more value. So fast forward several years, myself, along with a dedicated team, we all built what we call the CFO Project, which is a step-by-step mentorship program where we train accountants on how to start their own CFO advisory firm using systems and using processes. That way you don't have to reinvent the wheel on every client. You know exactly what to do and what to say to prospects to get them as a CFO advisory client, and what to do and what to say to actual CFO clients every time you interact with them, also that they'll have a successful business. Okay, so in this training specifically, I'm going to show you how you can replace your low-paying tax clients with high-paying advisory clients so you can make more money while working a lot less. Okay, so let's start off by taking a look at why you might want to consider making 2026 your last tax season. Well, being a tax accountant over the past, let's say, 100 years has had 2 major benefits. The first major benefit that tax accountants have enjoyed were that taxes were required to be filed. And then the second benefit that tax accountants have enjoyed over the past 100 years is that most people don't enjoy filing them. Therefore, an entire industry was born that consists of tax preparers, tax advisors, and other tax-related services. However, there's been a pretty significant shift in the tax industry as a whole over the past several years, and it's only going to get worse. It's been well documented that many professionals are leaving the tax profession at an alarming rate, while at the same time, many would-be accountants are deciding not to enter the profession in the first place. Why? Why is that? Well, we've identified 8 reasons why, and for these 8 reasons is why we suggest to you that 2026 should be your last tax season. Now, the first reason why we suggest making 2026 your last tax season is that tax preparation and even tax advisory is seen in the eyes of most people as a commodity. In other words, most people don't understand what's involved in tax preparation. Because of that, they cannot discern the difference between a good tax accountant and bad one. Therefore, they think all tax accountants provide the same end result. Thus, tax services are deemed a commodity. And with anything that's deemed a commodity, whether real or imagined, price goes down. So why would one business owner pay a tax accountant $3,000 for a return when another tax accountant is offering the same service for $1,500? It doesn't make sense. The second reason why you may want to consider making 2026 your last tax season is that if we were to be completely pragmatic, business owners do not necessarily care about who does their taxes. They view tax preparation, tax advisory, and all other tax services as a necessary evil. They just want someone to do the taxes. They don't want to think about it because they have a laundry list of other more pressing items that they need to think about, especially if they're a business owner. They have a laundry list of things that they need to focus on, and tax falls to the bottom. And when a service provider, like a tax accountant, is not valued by the person paying the service for the service, they're not going to get paid a lot for it, nor will they be given a lot of face time with the business owner. All right, number 3, there's a lot of competition. We know that, due in large part because of the internet. Business owners have a ton of choice in who or how they get their taxes taken care of. A tax accountant in the 1980s, way back in the 1980s, for example, would mainly have competition from accountants in the same area of town. Today, a tax accountant has competition from every single accountant who has a website, not to mention all these overseas tax companies who are willing to take on the work for pennies on the dollar. Plus, there are several tech and software companies who are actively competing with tax accountants and tax advisors today by building robust software that can take over a lot of the tax preparation and other tax services. Even AI has made significant advancements in the past couple of years, which is only going to be a growing threat to the tax profession. I mean, there's a major software in our space. I'm not going to name names, but we all have heard of them. They spent millions of dollars on 4 TV ads in the last Super Bowl that had one unifying message. All 4 ads had the same message. And the message was, you could fire your tax accountant if you use our software. That was their message. Whether they're right or whether they're wrong, it doesn't matter. The message they're sending is clear, that software, tech, AI is going to be competing with actual accountants. All right, number 4, the 4th reason why you may want to consider making this your last tax season is that many professionals, myself included, find it, boring. They find it boring because of the repetitive nature of the job. Taxes are not the most exciting thing in the world, yet you must stay on top of tax law changes every year. And not to mention, the idea of chasing down data from clients is not the most glamorous work. All right, the 5th reason is that, especially during tax season, many accountants are working hours that are beyond sustainable. They're working long hours. Burnout is very real in this profession. Unfortunately, taxes are highly difficult to scale, and thus, for any tax accountant to make money in this profession, they either must work more hours or take on more clients. Again, this is not scalable. You could hire staff, but this is not necessarily scalable either. I mean, think about the definition of scaling. Scalable means that you can increase revenue without a substantial increase in cost. I mean, I have my iPhone here. Apple created it once, and then they just manufacture it millions of times a year. Each new unit of an iPhone that they produce doesn't cost them that much money. It's scalable. But with tax work, every new client you bring on, regardless of how much you're charging them, requires a certain level of work that either you or somebody on your team has to put into. All right. Reason 6 why you may want to consider making 2026 your last tax season is that it's a profession that is full of risk. You are liable for the decisions that you make when processing, advising, or attesting to taxes. All right. Number 7, the 7th reason is that tax accountants are constantly on the marketing roller coaster. Not only are many of them only getting paid once a year by their clients, they have to hope that the same clients come back each year. Those clients that don't come back, well, it's too late once you find out that they're not coming back. It's too late to find a new set of clients to replace them. Therefore, accountants then must spend the rest of the year adding new clients, which is no easy feat, nor is it a task that many accountants enjoy doing. And finally, the last reason why you may want to consider making 2026 your last tax season is that you can still do your job perfectly well, but your clients who own businesses may still go out of business. In other words, there's only so much tax savings that you can realize for your clients. At the end of the day, a successful business requires being able to ensure that it's generating positive cash flow on a regular basis, not just a reduction in taxes. So for that, the last reason that why you may want to consider making this your last tax season is that with taxes, there's a disconnect to business success. Okay, so these are the 8 reasons that a tax accountant such as yourself should consider making 2026 your last tax season. But if taxes are your livelihood, you must replace it with something, right? So there is one service that we suggest that you replace it with. And not only will this one service solve all 8 of these problems, it can also provide you with way more income while working much less. So this one service is what we call CFO Advisory Services. Now, a CFO Advisory Service is a service that you would offer to business owners to help them have a growing and successful business. And a business owner profile of an ideal business owner that you should offer these services to are a business that is producing between $500,000 and $5 million in annual revenue. And the business owner themselves is an expert at their craft. Think like a plumber who starts a plumbing business, a dentist who starts a dental practice, a roofing expert who starts a roofing company. These are people that are experts at their craft, not necessarily experts at numbers and business and financials, that also own a business doing at least $500,000 in annual revenue to $5 million in annual revenue. That's the sweet spot. So we suggest that you offer to them what we call a CFO Advisory Service. Now, as we'll see shortly, if you offer a service that will help business owners with having a better tomorrow, you'll be able to command a lot more money for this service. Why? Because business owners would rather the financial professional in their life, like you, help them have a better future more than just telling them what happened in the past. Let me rephrase it. Business owners would rather the financial professional in their life tell them how to have a better tomorrow more than they would want to pay you just to tell them what happened in the past. Now, the title CFO Advisor, we coined that term. We came up with the term CFO Advisor. The title CFO Advisor is a combination of Chief Financial Officer and Business Advisor. Now, most businesses are considered small or medium sized. I mean, in fact, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 99% of all businesses on earth are considered small. They usually do not need nor can afford a full-time CFO. However, they do need someone that can do what a CFO does, which is helps a business generate positive cash flow on a consistent basis, which we all know is the one and only thing required to keep a business in business and to make it successful. But business owners also need someone that can do what an advisor does, which is essentially help a business owner take action on the right things. Therefore, we propose that you make 2026 your last tax season and replace your income with CFO Advisory Services. Why is that? Well, for a few reasons. The first reason why CFO Advisory Services are ideal to replace tax work is that CFO Advisory work is not seen as a commodity in the eyes of most business owners. Why? Because unlike tax services, CFO Advisory Services are not thought of as a necessary evil. In fact, most business owners would jump at the chance to have someone that they can trust, someone like you, to just guide them on how to have a successful business, to have a successful future. You see, for most business owners, their business is literally the thing that puts food on their family's table. It must work. So if someone like you comes along and says that you'll help them not only to not fail, but to have a business that's successful, they will pay attention to what you have to say. This is a much more compelling value proposition than just going to everybody and saying, well, I could do your taxes better, faster, cheaper. I could do your books better, faster, cheaper. Okay, the second reason why CFO Advisory Services are ideal to replace tax work is that there is a lot less competition. You see, the heart of CFO Advisory work is advisory. It's the act of one person advising another person. This is incredibly difficult and in many cases downright impossible for software, AI, or other tech companies to replicate. Technology lacks the personal touch, the empathy required, and true understanding of all the nuances of a business's problems. As long as businesses are owned by humans, they need another human to help them as their advisor, their guide, and their confidant. Okay, the third reason why CFO Advisory work is ideal to replace tax work is that CFO Advisory work is just simply more exciting than tax work. You are helping business owners own better businesses. And so each week, each client brings different situations that you have a hand in helping with. Imagine looking forward to your workday. Imagine having fun while getting paid for it. All right, the fourth reason why CFO Advisory Services are ideal to replace tax work is that unlike taxes, CFO services are highly scalable. Now, we at the CFO Project teach that you should provide what we call a productized CFO Advisory Services. This is different than a fractional CFO Advisory Service. A productized CFO Advisory Service provides you with the best of both worlds. You could sell a service which is highly valued in the minds of business owners, while delivering it like a product, which means it's scalable. You could take on more clients and also increase your income without substantially increasing your workload. So this leads us to our fifth reason why CFO Advisory Services are ideal to replace tax work is that you're not having to work really long hours. You see, if you provide a productized CFO Advisory Service the way we teach it, and I'll go into how we teach it shortly, you will be spending around 4 hours per month per client while earning on average $2,000 per month per client. Now, I didn't make these numbers up. They come directly from our member survey that we sent to around 500 people in our program, in our Done With You mentorship program. They're spending on average 4 hours a month per client and charging $1,978 a month per client. So rounded to $2,000 per client per month. This means to make $240,000 a year, you only need 10 CFO clients. That's it. That means you're spending around 40 hours a month servicing those 10 clients, which is around 10 hours a week. Okay, the sixth reason why CFO Advisory Services are ideal to replace tax work is that there's almost no liability. Why? Because as a CFO advisor, you're not doing anything on behalf of the client. You're simply advising. It's up to the client whether to take your advice or not. Our job as CFO advisors is to advise, not do. When we're wearing the CFO hat, we're advising and guiding. We're not auditing. We're not doing attestation, taxes, or bookkeeping, and we're not performing the role of a fractional CFO. Okay, the seventh reason is that you can finally get off that high marketing roller coaster and enjoy high retention rates. If a business owner was getting value from your CFO service, why would they leave you? When they wouldn't. According to the same survey that we conducted to our members are reporting that they're retaining 87% of all their clients every year. So if you had 10 CFO clients and maintained an 87% retention rate year over year, then you would go into the next year with 8 out of the original 10 clients, which means you only need to replace 2 clients a year to earn the same $240,000 per year. At the same time, you're getting paid monthly as opposed to just one time per year, because we suggest you bill on a monthly basis. And finally, the last reason why CFO advisory services are ideal to replace tax work is that you have a real, measurable impact to business success. This means that you are having a real impact on your clients' lives, the business owners themselves, but also their families, their employees, and their employees' families. This means that your work is way more meaningful. You are leaving a legacy and impacting so many people. Okay, so here is, again, the 8 reasons why we suggest you should replace your tax work with CFO advisory work. Now, I keep talking about offering this idea of a CFO advisory service. There's many different definitions of what a CFO or part-time CFO or fractional CFO is. But we're very intentional at the CFO Project about what we call CFO advisory services. And I want to reveal and talk through the definition of what we call a CFO advisory service. That way you can decide if this is something that you want to learn more about and possibly incorporate into your practice. And if you don't have a practice, maybe you could start a CFO advisory practice. So a CFO advisory service, this is the definition. A CFO advisory service is where an accountant meets with a business owner on a monthly basis and guides them towards having a successful business. Now, I should point out that as long as you have an accounting background, that's what we're classifying as an accountant. So if you're an accountant, a CPA, a tax professional, a bookkeeper, somebody that understands accounting and the financials, you simply meet with your clients on a regular basis. And in that meeting, you are guiding your client to do one thing. You're guiding your client towards having a successful business. Now, we've got to define specifically what success means. And in our world, success is a business generating positive cash flow on a regular basis. That is a successful business. If a business can do that, then the business will be able to stay in business and then grow. Now, a CFO advisory service as defined here is different than what's traditionally known as a fractional CFO service. A fractional CFO will assume the role of a CFO, albeit on a part-time or fractional basis. A fractional CFO is actually performing a function on behalf of the client, which means if you have 5 fractional CFO clients, you have 5 part-time jobs. It's not scalable. And you're right back in this idea of the accountant's trap where you're trading time for money. On the other hand, we suggest that you should offer this idea of a CFO advisory service. This is a service where you're simply meeting with a business owner and guiding them in that meeting. That's the deliverable. You're meeting with them and advising them on how to do something very specific. And it's specifically how to have a successful business. By offering a CFO advisory service, you'll be able to take on more clients while still charging a significant amount of money, all without having to work a lot more hours per client. Okay, so here's how we suggest you offer a CFO advisory service to your client. So everything revolves around one monthly meeting with a business owner client. We call it a monthly CFO advisory meeting. This meeting should last for about an hour. In this hour, you're doing 2 main things. One, you're showing your client exactly what's working and what's not working in their business. And 2, you're showing them the specific things they need to accomplish over the next 30 days in order for their business to stay on track to be a successful business. Again, this meeting should last for an hour. Now, the preparation for this meeting should be approximately 2 hours. Then throughout the month, you should earmark approximately 1 hour for client questions and to check in with your client. Now, A CFO advisory service is something that business owners not only need, but desperately want. They want someone whom they can trust to tell them what to do to have a successful business. And if you could be that person, you'll be able to charge a lot for this type of service. Now, we recommend that you charge anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 per month per client for this service. As I mentioned earlier, the average person that we train is charging $2,000 per month per client. And as we just talked about a few minutes ago, you're spending as little as 4 hours per month per client. This means your effective hourly rate is around $500. Again, if you have 10 CFO advisory clients and charge them $2,000 per month each, then you'll be earning 20 grand a month, which is $240,000 a year, of course, with just 10 clients. And if you spend just 4 hours per month with each client, then you'll be working 40 hours a month, not a week, a month, to make that 240 grand a year. I mean, as you can see, operating CFO services is a fantastic way to replace your tax income. Now, you may be thinking, okay, I get it, but how do I go from actually transitioning from tax services to CFO advisory services? Let's take a look at that. We're going to take a look at a realistic timeline that you could use to actually make 2026 your last tax season by offering CFO advisory services. Now, the average tax accountant in the U.S., according to a few sources, is earning approximately $90,000 a year. So let's see what it would look like to replace the entire $90,000 with CFO advisory services by each month. So if you notice at the bottom of the screen, it says our goal is $90,000. Right above that is how much you could expect to earn each month if you follow this system. So the goal is $90,000. So let's see what it would look like to earn $90,000 and how long it would take you to do that. So in the first month number one, you would need to commit that you do want to make 2026 your last tax season. At the very least, commit that you want to dramatically reduce reliance on tax work. Then in month two, you need to start getting leads from legitimate business owners who are doing at least $500,000 in annual revenue. We suggest your goal is to find 2 business owners within the second month and start and give a proposal for your CFO advisory services too. Again, these are business owners who are doing at least $500,000 in annual revenue. Now, by the way, there are some exceptions to this rule, the $500,000 to $5 million rule. I've personally worked with clients doing a lot less than $500,000, and I've worked with clients doing a lot more than $5 million in annual revenue. But the reason why we don't suggest smaller businesses doing less than $500,000 in annual revenue is that either they need to work on sales or product market fit, or just they're a solopreneur that is simply a one-person business that probably can't or doesn't want to grow. At the same time, the reason why we don't suggest bigger businesses doing more than $5 million in annual revenue is that they usually have someone on their team that can do those types of things that we're suggesting here. So the sweet spot is a business doing between $500,000 and $5 million in annual revenue. You just need to find at least 2 of these within the second month, sometime between month 1 and month 2, and offer a CFO advisory proposal to. Then in month 3, your focus is on landing your very first CFO client. So if you execute it correctly, you should get one of the 2 leads that you got in month 2 to become a client. And you should charge this new client at least $1,500 a month, at least. Now, again, according to the latest survey that we conducted with our members of the CFO project, the average member is charging $2,000 a month. So $1,500 is actually on the low side. And assuming you keep this client for 12 months, then that means that this client is valued at 18 grand per year. According to the same survey I keep mentioning, our members have a yearly retention rate of 83%. So once you get a new client and demonstrate you can provide value, they'll stick around. Okay, so now you're earning an annual revenue of $18,000 from this one client. So notice at the bottom of the screen, your annual earnings from CFO services is now $18,000. We're still shy of our goal of $90,000, but right now we're at $18,000. All right. Now, in months 4, 5, and 6, the goal is to get 3 additional CFO clients, so 1 per month on average. So notice at the bottom, we're going to go from 18,000 now to 72,000 because you just added 54 grand worth of income from just those 3 additional CFO clients. Again, we're just simply multiplying 1,500 per client per month times 12 months. So each client's valued at 18 grand. Now you have a total of 4 clients, and then that's how we got to $72,000. I mean, and again, this is just with 4 clients. And if you're only spending 4 hours per month per client, then you're only working 16 hours a month to earn this 72 grand. Now, it is at this time, the month 7th mark, that you could decide if you fully like to embrace CFO services and stop providing tax services, or at least, the very least, supplement your tax income with CFO income. The nice part about getting out of tax work is that you'll now have you'll have 4 clients bringing in at least 6 grand per month, and you're only spending 4 hours a month doing so. This means your time will be freed up so you can go out and get additional clients if you wish. So it's for this reason, during months 7, 8, and 9, you should focus on getting at 3 additional CFO clients, 1 for each month, which will bring in an additional 54 grand in annual revenue. So now if you look at the bottom, we're now at $126,000 in annual earnings. Now, this, of course, is way more than the $90,000 that we started out wanting to replace. And then you could spend months 10, 11, and 12 continuing to improve your skills while getting additional clients if you wish. Now, as you can see, you could slowly build a CFO advisory practice and prove to yourself that you could do it before completely abandoning your tax practice. And all of this can be done in less than a year. This is how you can make 2026 your last tax season. All right, so as we've discussed, operating CFO advisory services has a ton of benefits. But many accountants over the years have attempted to offer CFO services or some version of it and have not had a great experience. And there's usually 2 reasons why. The first is that the accountant attempting to offer advisory services doesn't have enough time to truly devote to helping their client because that's not what they're getting paid for. Most accountants are getting paid to do tax work or auditing or bookkeeping work. The second reason why accountants who have attempted CFO advisory services haven't had a success at it is that the accountant themselves usually doesn't have a system, a process, a way to provide a service that the clients actually respond to. Many accountants conflate advisory services with reviewing their tax or financial reports. This is not at all what clients want. Reviewing of a financial reports or tax documents is not advisory work in this sense. It's painful for business owners, many of which are not numbers people and are usually not interested in accounting or understanding accounting, to sit through. It's painful for them to sit through financial reviews with their accountant. However, this doesn't mean that these same business owners don't want to understand their business from a financial and strategic standpoint. They do want to understand it. So it is for these 2 reasons and more that we started the CFO project. Essentially, the CFO project was started by 2 accountants, so myself and Jeff Prager, and who we independently built, scaled, and sold multiple businesses separately. And then we came together to build and scale our own CFO advisory firm. But what differentiated us from and our CFO advisory firm from other fractional CFO advisory or coaching firms was we did 3 things differently. First, we sold a productized CFO advisory service where we gave our clients a specific set of deliverables with an unambiguous fee structure. Second, we spent the majority of our time helping our clients take action rather than do what most in our profession do and just talk about numbers and leave the action taking up to the client. And third, we created systems for everything. We created systems to get leads, systems to convert those leads to paying clients, and systems to provide a CFO service that gets results. And so our firm took off. We had more business than we knew what to do with. We perfected our systems. We perfected client acquisition. We perfected client management, and our clients loved us. We got referrals and we quickly got to capacity. So we had a decision to make. We could expand our CFO advisory firm, but we thought, why don't we teach our methodologies to other financial professionals so they can help their clients have the same success that our clients had? Thus, the CFO Project was born. So today, the CFO Project is a done with you mentorship program that over 1,000 financial professionals have gone through. So I want to show you one example of a system that we use with business owners to help them that we teach to CFOs in our program to help their clients, business owners, understand what's working and what's not in their business. Also, that the business owner knows what to do about it. So they'll go out and take action so that their business improves. So the system I'm about to show you has allowed us to help thousands of business owners improve their profitability and cash flow by hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this system allowed hundreds of CFO advisors in our program to take on more clients in less time, with less overhead, and with less overwhelm. And the system allowed hundreds of CFO advisors to earn more money per client than any accounting service can ever do. So here's our system. It's a scalable system that gets results for your clients. So we call it the one clear path. We call it that because it's one clear path that a CFO advisor could take to help a client get results. This system leads any size business in any industry, in any location, from point A at the bottom left of the screen to point B at the top right of the screen. And this point is where the owner, the business owner, your client, would understand their entire business from a strategic and financial standpoint and now knows what to do about it so they can have a growing and successful business every single month. Now, the first stage is where you show your client what drives or it influences their revenue, profit, and cash flow. Think of a business as a machine. Your job is to break the machine down into different parts, we call them the drivers, to see what's working and what's not working. Now, like all machines, a business has a purpose. It's to make money, right? Well, if the machine is not doing what it's supposed to do, which is to make money, then like all machines that are not functioning properly, you need to determine the root cause and fix it. Also, that your client's machine is running at peak performance and doing what it's supposed to do, which is to make money. Now, remember, we define a successful business as one that can generate cash flow, positive cash flow on a regular basis. This stage will help us understand what has prevented the business from doing that in the past. Now, notice we have 5 revenue drivers, 5 profit drivers, 5 cash flow drivers. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of drivers in every business on earth, but they all roll up to these 15 drivers. And these 15 drivers drive cash flow. And this stage will help us understand what has prevented the business from doing that in the past. This stage will help us understand the root causes as to why your client's machine is not functioning properly or as good as it should. Also, you know what to advise your client to fix. Now, the second stage is where you and your client set measurable targets or goals for this year and for the next 5 years. You'll help your client set targets for each of the parts of their machine, their business. We call them the drivers. All of this should be based on the vision your client has for their business. I mean, think about it. In order to help your client accomplish their vision of success, we need to find out what that is from your client. That's where the Your Big Vision section comes in. In this section, you're understanding what drives the business owner themselves. Why do they get into business? What do they want? What motivates them? And then the third stage is where you give your clients a simple way to know what's going on in their business. We call it the scoreboard. It's a color-coded one-page report that lists all the major drivers of their machine on one page. So they know what's working, those are in green, and what's not working, those are in the yellow and red. And then we give them a way to know what to do about it. We call them monthly objectives and immediate next steps. Also that your clients, will have a successful business. And you repeat the third stage every month. This is what business owners want. They want you to show them what's going on in their business without having to understand financial reports. They want you to show them exactly what to do to hit their targets, and they want you to show them how to have a successful business. So if the client accomplishes their next steps, the objectives you give your client each month will be met. And if all the objectives are met, the scoreboard will turn green. And if the scoreboard turns all green, then the client will, without a doubt, be on track towards hitting their targets and their vision, which means that you'll have a very happy client who you'll likely be able to retain for a very long time. This system will allow you to grow your practice in less time and with less stress because you're charging for your value, not your time. And because you have a system that's scalable, you can take on way more clients. And because you have a system that works for any business, large or small. So as we wrap up, the bottom line of today's training is that you can leverage your existing accounting experience to provide an in-demand service to business owners that will help them have a better future. And if you can do this, you'll be able to charge way more and work a lot less. But if you're serious about doing this, you need training, mentorship, and accountability to ensure that you actually do it. So if you're interested, we have an exclusive Done With You mentorship program just for financial professionals where we'll provide you with three main things. One, a system for getting clients who will pay you $2,000 a month on average per month without feeling like a salesperson or paying for ads. Two, we'll give you a system for providing a CFO advisory service that gets results and doesn't take up too much of your time. That way it's scalable. And three, you'll get step-by-step mentorship, tools, all the downloadable tools to provide a CFO service, including the scoreboard, forecasting, ratio analysis, playbooks, step-by-step playbooks to provide this service and to get clients. You'll be a part of a vibrant community and more to ensure you get results. That's why it's a Done With You mentorship program, not just training program. Also that you're never lost at how to help your clients nor how to get clients. So we call it the CFO Project Step-by-Step Mentorship Program. So to become a successful CFO advisor, you need clients, right? So upon joining, you'll get immediate access to our marketing systems that will show you step-by-step how to get clients, guaranteed. There are multiple systems to choose from. Simply pick one system and follow the training and playbooks to get at least 3 clients. And then once you get 3 clients from one system, you can add on another system or continue working the first system. The choice is yours. The bottom line is that we'll be by your side every step of the way to ensure you actually get clients. And by the way, our marketing systems do not require you to cold call or use social media or paid ads. In fact, we guarantee that you'll get at least 3 CFO clients within your first year of membership as long as you follow the directions as outlined in the program. If not, get your money back. Also, upon joining, you'll get immediate access to our turnkey systems in a box that will show you step by step how to provide a CFO service that not only gets results, but will keep your clients engaged with you for years to come. This is a turnkey system that includes all the training, the templates, the guides, and other tools you'll need to start offering a CFO service that not only gets results for your clients, but will also allow you to increase your income while reducing your workload. Now, again, we don't just train you and provide systems. We work with you every step of the way to ensure you get results. So you'll get hands-on guidance from our CFO mentors, real people who will get to know you and you'll get to know them. You'll get access to our tools and playbooks to help you get results, and you'll immediately be a part of our vibrant community of other financial professionals. This whole program includes all the practical training, systems for everything. Literally, you start with step 1 and don't go to step 2 until you complete step 1. That way you and your mentor and everybody else that's helping you knows exactly what step you're on. So if you need help, everybody can jump in and they'll know exactly where you need help. You'll get access to real mentors, access to our resource library on day 1. You'll be a part of a weekly mastermind group that meets via Zoom for 1 hour, led by your mentor and a couple of assistant mentors and a handful of other CFOs in the program that you'll get to know, and you'll be able to, they'll be able to hold you accountable and encourage you and help you along the way, and you'll do the same thing for them. It's a really cool part of the week. Also, we have monthly master classes where we'll do deep dives into specific topics to help you get better at your craft. And then we invite outside experts to come in and lead various workshops to help you get better at building, growing, and scaling a CFO advisory practice. Now, I sort of alluded to this, but we do have a 100% money-back guarantee. We guarantee that you'll get at least 3 CFO clients within your first year of membership as long as you follow the directions as outlined in the program. Now remember, the average person charges $2,000 a month per client that's in our program. But if you just charge $1,000 a month, this works out to be a $36,000 guarantee. And I can guarantee you our program fee for the first year of membership is much less than this. It's a fraction of this. And if you charge $2,000 a month, this is a $72,000 guarantee. If you charge $3,000, it's a $108,000 guarantee. Meet Becky. She says, using the systems that the CFO project equipped me with, I reduced my workload by 75% and I increased my income by 50%. Jamel, I've been a part of many groups. I've never seen the success I've seen with the CFO project. In less than 6 months, I've added more than $100,000 in contracts. Ryan, he was an employed accountant when he started. Since joining the CFO project, it took me only 8 months to leave my day job. And in 2.5 months since leaving, I've already doubled what I was making. All right, so if any of this is of interest to you, we invite you as your next step to join one of our enrollment advisors on what we call a right fit call. This is not a sales call. This is a live Zoom call via Zoom where you'll meet for 30 minutes. So this is a 30-minute Zoom call where we'll show you exactly how we'll help you start a CFO business in our Done With You mentorship program. So if you have an existing tax or bookkeeping practice, we'll show you how to add a CFO service. Or if you're an employed accountant, we'll show you how to start a business on the side, a CFO service on the side. So this is just a right fit call. We want to make sure you're right fit for us and that we're a right fit for you. And we'll know that in this 30 minutes. So in this 30-minute call, you'll learn how our program works. We'll give you a behind-the-scenes tour of the program. You'll learn about the investment options and the payment plans available to you to make it affordable, and of course, our money-back guarantee. So to join one of our upcoming Right Fit calls, just click the link that's in the that you'll see here in the portal. Just click the link and choose a day and time that works for you, or just go to the cfoproject.com/earmark. Both links go to the same place. So just click the link or just go to the cfoproject.com/earmark. You'll see a short form, and in this form, we want to get to know you a little bit. So fill out the form, and at the bottom where it says click to book a day and time, once you click that, you'll see some days and times. Just pick one that works for you, and then you'll get on a Zoom call with an enrollment advisor, and we'll see if this is a right fit for you. So on behalf of everybody here at the CFO Project, thank you so much for watching this training. As you can tell, I'm passionate about what we do. Our mentors and members are also passionate about what we do because we want to equip you with helping real business owners who need help. And if you can help business owners have a successful business, they'll pay you for this service, which means you will make way more money. So we'd love to talk with you. Just book a call, just click the link, or just go to the cfoproject.com/earmark. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.
Today's event has ended. To earn CPE, go to earmark.app or scan the QR code on the screen. Then log in or create your free account. Search for the course by tapping on the magnifying glass icon on the home screen and then entering the name of this event. It takes a few days to make the course, so if you're attending this event live, keep an eye out for an email letting you know when the course is available. Pass the quiz to earn your CPE, then tap the button to email yourself a certificate. Stay tuned for more events from Earmark. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon.